Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video. Now when last we met, I was in Denver, but now, you notice my surroundings? I'm not doing this intro from the truck. That's right, I'm in an airport in Las Vegas. And guess what? I'm going home to New Orleans for a few days, actually for a sad event, but going home nonetheless. Thank you for messing up my intro. Anyway, we're gonna start this video with me arriving back in Vegas and going to a delivery, and then I'm sure we'll get some New Orleans stuff. So there's only one thing left to do. Let's get started. Well, I'm back in Vegas. Check out Resort World. Every time I come here, there's something new. Usually it's new road construction, but in this case, we have Hilton Resort World, which is supposed to be this extravagant monstrosity when it's done. I see, you can't see it, but they're building some little dome style amphitheater, and I think there's gonna be like indoor, I think it's got a Chinese theme. Sometimes I can just ride around and look at the billboards and these stupid lawyer billboards. Oh, there's something about lawyers, specifically like injury lawyers, billboards, that just turns me off. Like this one, injured? Call Ed Bernstein. Free consultation. Normally, he's got some kind of gimmick or slogan. What is it? Enough said, call Ed. That's it. Okay, Ed. Richard Harris. Oh, a Gentile. Just in case. Oh, here's another one. Nakvi, injury. Reputations are earned, not given. He always wears these really nice three-piece suits with the tie. That's the knot on the tie is like 6 inches wide. His sartorial flair is, look, here's another one. Riza Athari and Associates. If you get hurt in Las Vegas, here's another one, injuredinahotel.com. Yeah, I accidentally threw my banana peel on the carpet and I slipped on it. So, I need $1 million. They can afford it. It's just the insurance companies that pay for it. And then I'm gonna turn around and complain about my high insurance rates. Whatever. All right, 1.3 miles. I'll check in with y'all. But there's another one. I'll check in with y'all later. All right, we're coming up on the world famous Raider Stadium. You can't see it because of In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger, for all of my Louisiana viewers, is really good. But they say they'll never open one that's further than a certain distance from their distribution center, 300 something miles. Everything has to be fresh. This is In-N-Out's gimmick. I think it's stupid. Oh, we're fresh. Everything's got to be delivered fresh daily. So it's got to be within a one-day trip of our distribution center. So we don't have any places out east, which I'm thinking, why don't you just open a distribution center out east? I mean, just open another one. Nope, it's got to be out west, and everything's got to be delivered that day. And I'm like, you know what? Ground beef stays good for a while. It doesn't have to be delivered that day. And it was just sitting in a cooler at the distribution center anyway. What difference does it make if it's in a cooler there or a cooler here? It doesn't make it any fresher. Like, they think we're stupid? We don't know. Like, what do you think? Y'all slaughtered the cow today, ground it up, and drove it straight to the restaurant? Oh no, it's fresh because it's delivered daily. Oh, cher mon Dieu. It doesn't make it any fresher. You're not killing the cow. Anyway, their burgers are really good. I like getting the double with cheese. And then there's the other catch with this place. There's a secret menu that's only, what do I say? How do I say this? There's a secret menu. It's not on the board. That's why it's secret. You just have to know about it. This truck stop, right there, you see the trucks? Wild Wild West, it's called. Well, when I used to deliver fuel, the Wild Wild West actually extends past where you can even see. And you'll see the Burger King in the gas station. I got there early. I always deliver fuel early, 4 a.m. And all the hookers are out. And I'd never been to this place, so I pulled on the side of the road, put my flashes on. I got out and I was walking to the gas station to see where am I gonna park, how am I gonna pull in. All the hookers thought that I was there trying to, you know, be a client. And they're like, hey, hey, I'm not interested. All right, I need to turn on Valley View. So see how the truck stop comes all the way back. You can see the gas station, there's a Burger King ahead, maybe you can see that, and then there's your cell. That's where I was delivering. So I pulled on this little side street called Procyon, Procyon, which is the street I'm looking for on the other side. And boy, they're like, oh, got a client. There's the gas station, Green Valley. Really, I wanted to talk to her. I said, why don't you come on, let's talk, sweetheart. How did you end up here? I'm more interested. Can I just give you 20 bucks to interview you? Uh-oh, why? Yeah, I wanted to give her 20 bucks just to talk for a little while, just out of curiosity. Like, what are you doing? It's 4 in the morning and you're trying to hustle me for, you know. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Let's talk about your childhood. Well, if you want to talk about my childhood, that's an extra $10. All right, here you go. All right, tell me about your parents. You know, look at this. See, there's construction everywhere, man. Every time I come here, there's some new project that's started.
Turn left at the traffic light.
Oh, cool. How am I going to turn left here? Oh, I know how. Don't mind me, just coming through from the go straight lane. All right. Don't worry, boss. I see you. I'm not going to pull out in front of you. So here I am arriving at my delivery, and I wanted to show y'all when you're backing up, the most important thing by far is the setup. If you can set yourself up perfectly before you start backing, it's going to be a nice, easy back. And this wasn't difficult. You can see I had a pretty good amount of room. But you want to have your trailer pointing at the right angle. You want to be the perfect distance away from the spot you're trying to back into. If you could get those two things straight, it's going to be an easy back. And in this case, you see the trailer tires. I want them to be as close as possible to the raised part of the curb without hitting it. And you see right there, boom, I got it within a couple of inches. I know that if my tires are touching that, then I'm clear on the other side. Remember, I can't see the passenger side at all. So the closer I am to the curb, then I know I'll make it. One day I hope to do a more proper backing video, but this will have to do for now. And this was it. All I had to do was unload these 17 pallets at this stop and then go park the truck. And I got to go home, pack, and get ready for my flight the next morning. All right, y'all. You knew I couldn't come to New Orleans without doing a video on food. So my first night here, I went to my favorite little restaurant called Di Martino's. We check it out. This is something called a muffuletta. And take the bread off. Now I'm gonna spare y'all the whole backstory about Italian immigrants and working on the docks, but basically a muffuletta is Italian cold cuts, cheese, and olive salad. And it's delicioso. Couple that with a cup of gumbo, and if you look in there, you see that. Hopefully the camera can focus. That's called okra. When you cook it in a gumbo, it gets real slimy, but that's when it's real good. And then of course, you can't have gumbo without potato salad. So you put them three together, it's a great combo, and I'm ready to eat. All right, y'all, it's crawfish time for my non-Louisiana viewers. First of all, the attire. You don't want to wear a long sleeve shirt because the juice is going to run all the way down your forearm to your elbow. So wear an old t-shirt, and I say old because it's going to splash. You're going to get juice everywhere. It's best to wear old clothes. Then you need lots of paper towels because your eyes are going to water. Your nose is going to run. You're going to have juice running down your chin and your arms, so tons of paper towels. Now check out the technique. Don't look at me, look at my hands. You grab the head in one hand, the tail in the other, twist and pull. Boom, see how easy it popped out? That's all there is to it. Then you suck the head and you eat the meat. Now, when I say suck the head, what am I sucking? Well, there's juice in there. The juice is really the water from the boil with the seasoning. The seasoning is called crab boil. Whether you're boiling crabs, crawfish, or shrimp, the seasoning is called crab boil. And you see the fat in the back of the head? You mix that with the juice from the boil, and it's just so good. Now, see, there's the fat right there. All that yellow stuff on the tail. If you could separate the head from the tail perfectly, all the fat will stay right there on the tail. Look, you see that? Oh, it's so good. And then you just put it between your teeth and use your thumb to pinch the back of the tail so the meat comes out. Now, some people will peel every knuckle off. You see the picture I got inlaid? I don't have time to peel every single piece of that shell off. Look, just put it between your teeth and then use your thumb to pinch the back of the tail. We call it pinching tails and sucking heads, right? Suck the head, pinched it. Look at the snot coming out of my nose because it's so spicy, but it's so good. Now, I was in New Orleans for a somber occasion. My stepmother passed away, and that was pretty hard to deal with, but we got through it. Now, people ask me, do they really bury people above ground in New Orleans? Of course, bury is, it's sort of in air quotes, right? You can sort of lay them to rest. But the answer, obviously, is yes. You see, they build a tomb above ground, and you just open the doors, and you can put the coffin in. And the reason why is because the ground is so saturated with water all the time and below sea level, the coffin will float up if you don't put them above ground. And you see the Landry family here see how big that parcel of land is? Because they have to put a big steel plate. If you're going to go below ground, they have to put a big steel plate in order to hold the coffin down. So it's easier to just build a tomb above ground and just put the coffin or the urn in there. A lot of y'all don't know that for 12 years, I played the 5:30 p.m. Vigil Mass at St. Martha Church. 12 long years. Well, I moved to Vegas 2 years ago, and I haven't been back there since. That is until yesterday. I dropped in, nobody knew I was coming, so it was a complete surprise to everybody who had really gotten used to seeing me after all that time, you know. And it was pretty cool getting to see everybody, and I don't know. Kind of a weird experience, to be honest with you. But the new pianist and singer asked me if I wanted to do a song, and that turned into the whole mass. But was it the last video? Not the last video, the one before that. You heard my dreadful singing on that Do Re Mi from The Sound of Music. Here's a little clip. Like, if that was an F, this is about a C minus. So I had to redeem myself a little bit. Check this out. I missed a few notes and I rushed it in a few spots and I was late in a few spots, but all in all, it was good to just be able to sing in front of, that was the first time I sang in front of people in 2 years. I just got up there and did it. Now the first song, my heart was pounding, but after that, it was just like old times, minus the practice and rehearsal. All right, so I'm back home in Vegas, and I thought I would be going back out on the road today and get some final footage to put this video together and get it out there. But I'm going out tomorrow, so what's a fella to do? How about make gumbo? So I'm gonna show you all how I make gumbo. But first, I have to eat lunch. So what I'm gonna do is prepare my lunch. While my lunch is cooking, I'll start doing all the prep work for the gumbo, which will be tonight, and then I'll package some up to bring on the road with me so I have something to eat while I'm driving. So, let's do it. One of the things I hate about opening a bottle of wine is that stupid foil thing on there. How do you get that off? So my trick is I take a pair of scissors and just grab it right underneath and I just twist the bottle. And the foil pops right off. Of course it wasn't gonna pop right off for me, but it's close enough. And you got a nice clean thing without foil all over the place. See how that works? So that's my tip of the day. Now when you're cooking pasta, for one, sometimes you don't know how much to cook. So my rule of thumb is try to get, if you hold it in your fist and it's about the size, a little bigger than a quarter, like a quarter, then that's about enough for one person. That's a little bigger than a quarter. I think that'll work. Now I got this wine to cook the olives and capers in, but I'm gonna drink a little too. I don't know what this is, butter bomb. I don't know if it's good or not. And because I'm just a Gabon from the West Bank, I don't actually have wine glasses, so it looks like I'll be serving it in a Mardi Gras cup. Salud! Okay, the pasta's done, so we just add it straight to the pan. No need to strain it because the pasta water is going to evaporate and leave behind a little starch, which might help bind everything together. All right, so we're gonna finish cooking the pasta in the pan, let the pasta water evaporate, and the last step is adding butter to the finished dish. They call that mantecatura, and that's pretty much just adding that last little bit of butter. It kind of makes it shine and brings everything together. So there we go. Okay, it's time to get our mise en place for our gumbo, which means I'm gonna cut everything up, have it all ready, and then we can just start putting it all together step by step by step. But that means I got some chopping to do. Okay, we start with the bell pepper. I think everybody probably knows how to cut up vegetables, right? But here's the thing about me. I don't like big chunks of anything. So you see how I cut the bell pepper and really fine, it's almost like a julienne. And then I get it to where I can get it as kind of like a dice because I like small vegetables. Next is the onion. Cut it in half, cut the top off, but leave the root intact. Y'all know that, right? And then everybody cuts lines in it, like you see right there. Everybody, but then people cut it horizontally, but you don't need to do that because the onion already has those. See, you just cut down and then the onions, you don't have to do those horizontal ones. Same thing with the celery. I julienne it, and then I get my nice little celery dice there. If I could get it to a mince, I would do that, but it's a little too much work to mince it. So a dice is fine enough. Garlic, y'all know, crush the garlic, peel the paper off. I don't know, I had 4 or 5 cloves there of garlic to do. Next is the sausage. Found some, I don't know. They say it's andouille sausage, but I mean, this is Nevada, come on. It's andouille enough, so that's what I bought. And then the chicken. I bought the leg quarters, so I had to butcher it myself here at home. And I take the skin off because, I don't know, when the skin cooks in the gumbo, it just gets kind of, it's not great. It's not horrible, but it's not great. I'd rather just get all of that cleaned up before I start cooking it. And so I ended up with 2 legs, I would say 2 drumsticks and 2 thighs. I had all cleaned up. And then clean. You know, you hear about salmonella. And so I like to clean my countertop good. I actually clean it twice. Salmonella. That sounds like some mob guy. You know Sal, huh? No, Sal who? Sal, his last name, Manella. Yeah, Salmonella. Anyway, this is what it looks like when it's all cleaned up. Okay, now we're ready to cook. So anytime you start cooking, you start with the onion first because it takes the longest. You got to caramelize the onion. So what I'm going to do is put the onion in for a few minutes, then add the rest of the trinity. What's the trinity, Jay? It's onion, celery, and bell pepper. If it was French cooking or Italian cooking, it would be onion, carrot, and bell pepper. And I think they call it sofrito in Italian, and I think they call it mirepoix in French. But in New Orleans, it's the trinity, onion, bell pepper, celery. At the same time, I'm gonna put a little color on my chicken by browning it. Let's just do it. In goes the onion to start sweating and caramelizing, and in goes the chicken. I'm not trying to cook the chicken all the way through. I just want to brown it a little bit to get a little extra flavor going on the outside. All right, the onions have been sweating and the chicken is time to flip. So now we can add the rest of the Trinity, flip the chicken, and keep cooking. That's the bell pepper and the celery going in, and we flip the chicken to the other side and get some color on it. Now you notice I chose a wooden spoon here. That's only because it's quieter for the camera, but I also have this. So I think Italian grandmas use a wooden spoon, la mestola, and Cajun grandmas use this spoon. And since I'm both, I got both. So I went with la mestola to go with this dish because it's quieter. Okay, my vegetables are soft, so now it's time to add the rest of the seasoning, starting with garlic, a couple of bay leaves, a little bit of thyme, paprika, tiny bit of cayenne. Whoop, that's enough. Some crushed pepper, and a little bit of salt. Okay, now we're gonna add the chicken broth. And the chicken. Now we're gonna let this cook. I want the chicken to start cooking just about all the way through, but not quite. Then we're gonna remove it, cook the rest of the ingredients, add the chicken back so that it's ready to pull apart. Okay, it's time for your OCD moment of the day. Like a couillon, I went and bought plates with stripes on them. What does that mean? From now until eternity, every time I put them away, I have to have all the stripes facing the same way on the right-hand side, all lined up. I tell you, I should just get rid of the plates and buy plain ones so I don't have to do this from now on. Okay. The chicken's cooked down a good bit. I've removed it. Now the controversial part. I'm adding the roux, which is here. But Jason, what do you mean adding the roux? Here we go, because I'm going to get hate from this. There's a dry roux, and then there's a wet roux. So typically you add equal parts flour and fat, either oil or butter, usually oil or butter and fat, and you stir and stir for 20 to 40 minutes to make a roux, right? There's also a dry roux. You can take the flour, put it in the oven at 400 to 425 degrees until it gets the color you want, and then mix in the stock, and you get this. It's a lot less labor intensive and tastes exactly the same. But people who are you can't do that. I can just hear, I've done it both ways and I continue to do it both ways. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Today, I decided to go with the dry roux. When this is all done, you'll look at my gumbo. It'll look the same as your mama's and it'll taste just as good with the dry roux. A roux is essentially cooking flour. I cooked it in the oven instead of cooking it on the stovetop, and it tastes just as good. So let's go ahead and add my dry roux. Ooh. So I'm gonna keep stirring this roux, and it's gonna thicken the gumbo, and it's gonna cook down. I'm also gonna add my sausage, andouille sausage. So we're gonna cook, and then towards the end, we'll add the chicken back, which is already, par cooked or whatever you wanna call it. The color of the gumbo is kind of where it needs to be already. I like a dark, thick gumbo. And what is it? Dark and thick. I'm telling y'all, the dry roux works. If you just stop being, Just stop being a yeah. Well, you can't do it like that. You can do it like that, and it's just as good. Look at it. And trust me, when it's done, it tastes just as good. I wouldn't steer you the wrong way. So I'm going to keep cooking, and we'll get back to y'all in a little bit. All right, y'all, the moment you've been waiting for. The gumbo's been cooking for about an hour or more. It's all ready. And then, of course, nothing matters but the flavor. I mean, that's the be-all, end-all. It's a good gumbo. I got plenty of sausage in there. I put so much sausage. I want a bite of sausage in every bite. You should have some sausage. All I'm going to do is take the chicken out and break it up into chunks of smaller pieces so that you can scoop up chicken and basically get it off the bone. And that's it. It's gumbo time. Now that the gumbo's done, it's the rice. What I didn't tell y'all is gumbo is served in a bowl over rice. So I got the rice cooking, and I'm gonna enjoy some gumbo tonight. Whatever's left over, I'm gonna package up and take with me on the road to eat during the week. And I'm gonna put a little on the side for my friend Todd. You remember him from the intervention episode, right? I gotta figure out which episode that was. Anyway, Todd's back. He moved to France to pursue a career as an accordion player. And he really loves France and the French people. He's a real Francophile. Anyway, that didn't work out. So now he's back and he's living in Utah. So I'm going to bring him some good old Louisiana gumbo. And that's about it. This was a really different type of episode. Not much truck driving, but it was just a different type of week for me. But I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you watch the next one. And I really do appreciate all the views, the comments, the likes, and everything like that. So thank you, everybody. And until next time, this is Jason signing out.